Assalamu alaikum and Dzień dobry, brothers and sisters. Today's khutbah at Masjid An-Nur here in Des Moines is the first Jummah of Ramadan, and the focus of today's khutbah was about one of the main elements of Ramadan, and that is generosity. And generosity, as we all know, can come in various forms. It can range from simply giving a smile to someone who is sad, all the way up to donating a huge amount of money to a major charity for a relief project, for instance, such as the famine in Somalia and surrounding countries. And it can be something as insignificant as holding a door open for a person who really does not need that done, but you're doing it out of kindness, all the way up to physically working on building a masjid in some place or repairing one that is in need of it. It can be in so many forms. And a couple of hadiths that the Imam mentioned were of some of the Sahaba, or the companions of the Prophet, peace be on him, where he mentioned a couple of them, Abu Bakr Siddiq being one of them, and plus another one, the name I didn't quite get. But Abu Bakr Siddiq and this other guy literally gave every last dinar or dirham, whatever happened to be the currency of the day. These two guys gave every last bit of money that they owned for the cause of Allah, for either supporting the Prophet's work or for feeding poor people who had so much less than they did, or to help fund some other project, or to maybe lend some money to some guy who needed to pay a mahr to a woman that he was going to marry, but he didn't have the money at the moment. And then there was another guy that the Imam named who gave half of his wealth for the cause of Allah. And although he did not give as much as the other two guys did, it was still mentioned because of the fact that he gave a whole bunch that he otherwise did not really have to, but he simply chose to do it. And then he also contrasted this with the story of a man that Allah blessed with a whole bunch of wealth and property and workers to work for him, to work his land and tend whatever other things that he couldn't do by himself. But this guy was so conceited that he thought that Allah gave him all this wealth because he was better than those who were under him, better than his employees or servants. But then there's a line somewhere that says, if you are grateful, if you have wealth, then be grateful to Allah. But if you do not, be grateful to Allah for what blessings you do have, and hope that you will receive blessings in the future. And something like if you don't use your wealth properly, and if you don't pay charity in any form, whether it be zakat or sadaqah, then your wealth can be taken from you. And sure enough, this one guy's wealth was taken from him, and he was punished for his conceit, for his greed. Greed gets you nowhere fast, except when it comes to wanting to do more good deeds to gain Allah's blessing. Not to show off, of course, because that's just self-centered, and we don't want to bother with that nonsense. But to do good deeds in Ramadan especially, you get 10 times more at least of reward or blessing from Allah that you would get if you would have done the same act in any other month of the year. So that's definitely something that we can do. And it doesn't matter how insignificant the deed is. I can go to the masjid, I can help someone mix the mango lassi, which is a mango milkshake that we use to break our fast with, and along with the dates. And the sister who normally makes it, she had to go, so I said, I'm here, I'll take care of the rest of it. I'll put it in the jugs to pour out later, and I'll stick it in the fridge, and we can call it good. So she took off, went with her husband to do whatever they were going to do. And then, since I obviously didn't have to be anywhere at a specific time, I can take a later bus, it doesn't matter. So I decided that I'll just finish up, I'll clean up, and there are some guys who donated some stuff that will be used for tonight and tomorrow, and who knows how long that will last. And then they wanted to know what else they can donate, so I said, well, we can always use spoons. We go through spoons like crazy around here. So since, even though they're visitors from Canada, they are here for all of Ramadan, and they will stay through Eid, and then they will go back to Canada or go somewhere else. But they are showing generosity even though they are traveling, because they want to support the masjid that is playing host to their Ramadan. They're breaking their fast here in town, so they're going to come to iftar tonight. So they are being generous in that way, and they took me up on my suggestion, and they will do it, inshallah. And it's things like that that make a community really work, and it's generosity like this that really gains reward from Allah. And another thing that was mentioned was the fact that there is a collection being organized of both money and other supplies that will eventually be shipped over to Somalia or a refugee camp in Kenya, where a whole bunch of Somalis have gathered because their own home dirt is basically useless. They can't grow crops, they can't raise their livestock, they can't keep themselves in good health because there is just nothing. They haven't had a significant rain in a long time, so they are just, it is a literal famine. It is officially declared famine in that area of Africa. So we are organizing a supply collection. Monetary donations will also be taken, and either can be used to buy more supplies or to pay the cost of shipping the other stuff that we are collecting. So, and I have some things that I will be taking to the masjid tonight, and I'll give it to one of the brothers, and he can put it to where, where they're keeping the rest of the stuff that will be shipped over when it's time to do that. And I told them what it is and how easy it will be to be used by the people who will need it the most. Someone will have to do it for them, and so that's just my expression of my generosity. That I have collected these packets of enriched rice and other ingredients that will provide essential nutrition. And I have tested out these things myself. I got them from the food pantry, and then there was a bunch of these packets in the masjid that no one was using. So I thought, well, I'll collect them. I'll save them for a future chance to give them away. So this came up, and I asked Allah to help me find a way to make these of use to people who really, really need it more than me. So that is what I'm doing. So I called this brother and at the store that he works at, and I asked him what he thought of the idea, and he likes it. So that's what I'm doing. And so he's going to go for it. I'll take it there, give it to him, and this is just an example of the kind of generosity that we can do. And of course, supporting the masjid is also another act of sadaqah, and it can be an act of generosity because you are supporting the masjid. You are supporting the physical building. you're supporting the activities of the masjid. Like right now, we had to have part of our air conditioner system repaired because it just completely died. And now the rest of it needs repair, but it's going to take major work for that because the whole system is older than the city of Des Moines, I think. That's how old it is. But anyway, so that's going to need some major repair, and we're going to have a fundraiser for that, or 3. And that's what we're going to also do. And when you give to something like that during Ramadan, as I said earlier, your blessing is 10 times more than what it normally would. And that's just a minimum. Allah could increase it even more, you know. He blesses who He wills, how He wills, when He wills, you know. It's all up to Him how He wants to do it. And He'll do it in the way He sees fit. You know. And as Imam said, either a hadith or ayah, I think it's ayah from the Quran, where it says Allah is the best of providers. You know, relating to if you spend in the way of Allah, Allah will spend on you. Allah is the best of providers. I think that's how that goes, but someone can dig that up later, because after I upload this, I'm going to go back to the masjid and help prepare for tonight's iftar. And, you know, that's another thing that I'm going to be doing to be generous. I'm going to be generous with my time, like I am every night during Ramadan. I am assisting with the iftar preparation and the cleanup afterwards. And that is another form of sadaqah that we can do for our brothers and sisters in our communities. So I hope this is a little inspirational for you, a little reminder to myself and to all of you that the more generous we are with what Allah has given us, the more Allah will be generous with us in His blessings. And as always, anything wrong that I say is totally my bad. I can't blame you in Allah. And anything that's good comes from Allah, because Allah is the source of all good. So, Assalamu alaikum, Ramadan Mubarak, Do widzenia, and Yasir Mila.